Hello guys, welcome back to our Brainy Voyage YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to discuss about functions. Generally, what is meant by a function? A function is a block of code that performs a specific task, right? It allows us to reuse the code whenever we want by simply initializing it in the end code, right? So now let's just take an example and know how we should declare the functions and how we should implement them in JavaScript file. Okay. Okay, here I'm in this function, I'm going to take some values and I'm going to perform some mathematical operations and give it back to the user of the function where it is called, right? The function will be related to the juice mixer, right? So I'm going to initialize it with the juice mixer, right? Now I'm going to pass some parameters here, right? I'm going to take them as fruit1 and fruit2, and now I'm going to take some values here, right? So I'm going to pass some message here, let juice equals to, and I'm going to arrange a string here, right? Template literals here, okay? And I'm going to pass that your juice is cup of one and fruit two, right? Now I'm going to close this function here, right? So now I'm going to close this function and I'm going to call the function, right? So to call a function, we just need to console.log of juice maker, sorry, juice mixer, and we need to pass some values here, right? Because these parameters should not be null, right? If they are null, it we will raise a null message or it will take an to undefined, right? So to avoid that, I'm going to pass these values here, right? Orange and banana. Okay, now I'm going to save the file and we should see that. And one more thing here, I should return the value, right? Whatever the values that we have written, that should be returned, right? Or return statement is not mandatory in all scenarios. We can write console log statements at the in the block itself, right? But now I'm going to show you how we should return the value from a function to the wherever it is called, right? So that purpose we should write return function and with the value that we are going to pass, right? Now I'm going to save the file and we should see that your juice is made up of orange and banana, right? Let's just save the file. See that in the console we got your juice is made up of orange and banana. This is how the function declaration starts, right? This is a very basic one so that you might feel it is a very easy thing, but in a large case aspects and large case scenarios this will be going to complex, right? So try to understand the very basics first, then we can dive into the larger concept things, right? So that now we are going to initialize this with an another functions, right? And not I'm not going to add it with an orange and banana itself, right? I am going to take some other values also, right? So I am going to take console.log of juice mixer and I am going to take now as berry fruit and second fruit as the pineapple. I am going to save the file now. See that these two functions have different parameter values, right? So that whenever the function is called with the parameters, it will raise an each and individual output, right? Here in the second statement, that is berry and pineapple, so that we got berry and pineapple in the console, and in this case we got orange and banana, and here we got your juices are made up of orange and banana. This is how we use the functions with an reusable code, right? But what if we don't want to initialize the values whenever the time we are going to take it, right? This will increase the time complexity. To reduce the time complexity, we can just make this as like this, right? const value equals to juice mixer, and I'm going to pass orange and banana in this, right? Orange, apple. Okay, now I'm going to pass just value here, right? Value, and here also I'm going to replace this with value. Now let's just save the file, and we should see the same values, right? In both scenarios we should get your juice is made up of orange and banana, and in the second line also we should see that your juice is made up of orange and banana, sorry, orange and apple itself, right? So I'm going to save the file now. See that we got same things, right? Because we have initialized this to a variable and we reduced the time complexity here. And you should know that whenever the functions we need to use that, we can replace it, we can assign it into an constant variable or an let variable, and we can use this in whatever the statements we like, right? This is how the function declarations work. Okay, and we also have two types, right? Function declarations and function expressions, and also arrow functions that will be in another session. Let's just wait for that thing, right? Now I'm going to say that what are function expressions and how we should use that, right? So let's just comment this part, and I'm going to start function expressions here. Okay, to do that we need one variable, right? The expression itself is called as assigning a function or a value to an variable, right? So to do that we can write this, okay, const sum. Okay, const sum is equals to, and I'm going to take a function, and I'm going to start this like this, right? And I'm going to add some parameters in this, right? And I'm going to take value 1 and value 2, right? So I should get, whenever the value is called, I should return value 1 plus value 2, right? So now I am going to console log the value here. Okay, console dot log of sum, because we haven't initialized a value function here, right? Haven't initialized a function name here, right? These type of functions is called as anonymous functions, right? Here if you can see that I'm calling the function with a mixer here, but here I haven't have added any name, right? So that we can use sum operations here. So whenever the sum is called, the function will be executed, right? These type of functions is called as an expressions here, right? There is a key difference between function declarations and function expressions that we will be going to know in a bit, right? Now let's just work on this, right? So I'm going to set the file now, but we need to add one more thing here, that is we need to pass some values here, that in that case only we are going to get the addition value here, right? What if I haven't given any parameters here? Let's just save the file and check what will be the output, right? See that this entire expression is called here, right? See, if function this is an parameters, and I'm going to return the value and value to here, right? Because if it doesn't have any parameters, the function will not be invoked. So whatever the value that we have written, that will be considered as an entire string values, and that will be given, sorry, added into the some values, and that will be printed in the console. To avoid those type of errors, we should add some values in it, right? I'm going to pass 5 and 7 here, and now I'm going to save the file here. Okay, see that we got 12 in the console. This is how we use function expressions and function declarations. But I said that there are key differences between function declarations and function expressions, right? Now you are going to experience that. So I'm going to uncomment this, and I'm going to save the file again, right? This is working entirely fine. Now can I add these values, right? So can I call this value here before this function declarations, right? Can we do that or not? Let's just take a minute and comment down your answer. Right. Okay, I'm going to console log this value before the initialization. Right. So I'm going to cut the this and paste here. Okay, now I'm going to save the file. See that we got an reference error because whatever the values that we haven't given, that is not initialized, right? So the when it is called, some is not an 5 is to 7, right? 5 comma 7. Some values will not be recognized here and some is not recognized because this is called as an expressions, right? So it will be considered as a single variable, and variables cannot be accessed above them, right? Initialization of above them, right? So that we got an reference error here. But functions are not like that. We can invoke the functions before they are declared, right? So I'm going to show you that now. Rep- Let me replace these values and save the file. Now I'm going to take this one and I'm going to comment this out, and I'm going to invoke this function here. Okay, and now I'm going to save the file here. Okay, but here I have logged the value here, but I should not log the values. That will come under the same value here, right? It will be considered as a function expression itself, right? So I'm going to take juice mixer value here. Okay, and I'm going to initialize this with juice mixer, and I'm going to add some values here. Okay, I'm going to take kiwi and I'm going to pass another value as pineapple. Okay, now let's just save the file and check whether it is working fine or not. Okay, and I'm going to save the file now. See that the function has worked perfectly fine, right? As I said, function declarations can be called before the initialization itself, right? This is the main key difference between function declaration and function expression. And you should note that function expression is always considered as a single variable here, right? So variables cannot be invoked before they are initialized, right? So that we got reference error in the console when we are trying to invoke the function expression, right? But no, in that case, in other case, juice mixer is an function, right? The functions can be called at any time, right? So I didn't get any error while I am accessing those values, right? This is the difference between function declarations and function expressions. Thank you for watching. If you have any doubts regarding this, you can comment out the doubts and I'm happy to reply.